Hey, environmental science students. This is made for the afternoon class, my 12 o'clock class that missed because the lab was canceled due to the weather. What I did in the morning with my morning class is I went over the syllabus and I also went over a bit of a tutorial for the Blackboard page. So that's what this is about. This is something that you should watch because next week, week 2, if the weather isn't bad, we're just going to go ahead and do the lab that was scheduled. All right, so let me show you around. A few bits and pieces about the syllabus and about the course and the Blackboard page. So this is your home page. Mine might look a little different than yours because it's an administrative page and not the student view. So there might be tabs that might not look familiar to you. So on the left-hand side is where the materials for the course are kept. In this tab, course schedule, textbook, grading information, of course, is just that. Now, I need to change this because we are actually in Pen 238. We are no longer in Pen 213. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to change that right now. All right. And the afternoon section meets at 12. The morning section meets at 9. Because of the capacity of the room, if you're scheduled for the morning or scheduled for the afternoon, you do have to stay in that lab. Oops, and I didn't change it again for the other one. All right. Sorry about this. All righty. As far as other parts of just the introductory part of the syllabus is if you want to look at the full syllabus, it is right here, and that gives you my office location. It gives you my name. My name is Karen. I bet you probably already knew that. And the section that you're in also tells you that this is an environmental science class. We do touch on issues of the environment, the science side, but we also touch on a little bit of politics. This is also meant for students who are non-science majors. So if you're a science major, this is not the right class for you. You might want to email me about that part. As far as the textbook is concerned, there is a textbook for the course. If you are not able to afford the textbook, you can get a previous edition. You can also email me and I can get you those questions because there are homework questions each week from the textbook. And if you really can't afford the textbook, you could always just look up the answers on your own. As far as grading is concerned, this is a course that's based on 1,000 points, and the grades or the points that you get for assignments accumulate as you hand in your assignments and as they get graded. And as you can see here, that your final course grade is determined by how many points you accumulate throughout the course. Here's a weekly schedule. I'll have you just look at that on your own. Just please be patient because of the weather and other unforeseen circumstances. Sometimes this changes, which is really not a big deal. At least I don't think so, but just remain flexible. Okay, now as you are aware, this is a course that is designed for meeting in the classroom once a week for the lab. And everything else, learning activities, the homework questions, the lectures, these are all done on your own time, which is why it's called a hybrid class. Now, as far as those assignments are concerned, you go to the weekly assignments, activities, and learning content. Come on, let's go. A little slow today. There we go. Each week's work is arranged in these folders. Now, of course, it is week 1. The weeks run from Monday to Sunday, so all work is due that Sunday. In order to see what the activities that you have to do for that particular week, you click on the folder. Here are your responsibilities and assignments for the week. So this week is the lecture, questions, and then of course the lab, but since we didn't have lab, I made an online version of that. Each week has the learning objectives. These are really important. Try not to blow these off. I read through these because when it comes time to your lecture test, you will figure out rather quickly that your lecture test is based pretty much directly off of these learning objectives, but just in question form. So pay attention to that. Now here's the lecture for the week. You can either click on just the static PowerPoint, it's just a file, but if you click on the link, it takes you to the video of the PowerPoint. It's just me narrating the PowerPoint. It's not like huge as far as technology is concerned. I recommend that you watch it. Like you can just look at it if you want, but I recommend you watch the narrated version because, you know, sometimes the PowerPoint might just have a few words on it, whereas when I talk about it, I go into detail about that. Just please keep in mind that I'm pretty low tech and I'm doing this from home, so there might be a lot of interruptions with the menagerie of animals that I have and people in the house, and so I do apologize for that aspect of it, but it's the age we live in. I'm sure that you're used to that. Each week has 5 questions, sometimes a few more, sometimes a few less. As far as the questions are concerned, they are basically, like I said before, these are just your learning objectives in question format. And what you want to do is you can type them up in a document, whether it's MS Word or PDF. Please no Pages or Google Docs. My computer won't open those. Type them up, and this is the submission link. So what you do is you click on the submission link. After you type them up, you attach them, and then you click submit. Now, if you're having trouble switching files over, if your computer is not being very cooperative, what you can do is you can press write submission and type right into the submission box and then submit. Or if you have like a .pages document, you could just copy and then paste it into write submission. There's a comment section. I do ask that you not put the answers here because this is meant more for like if you're not sure about a question and you have an additional concern about it, you would put it in the comments. But when you do that, you click submit. All right, back to the little tour here. Then there's the lab activity, which again, you normally would report to lecture, and then we would do the lab you would report to the lab room, Pen 238, on Tuesday, whether it's the 9 o'clock class or the 12 o'clock class, and we would do the lab. But because this had to be converted to an online activity, this is set up as a submission link, just like your chapter questions. And so you perform this lab. You don't perform it. It's just a series. It's a hypothetical experiment, and you answer questions about it, and then you submit it to the link. Now, bear with me because I want to show you another week because there's a few more details. So let's just look at week 2, Monday, the February 1st to February 7th. So let's click on the link. Once again, you have what we're doing this week. Here are your learning objectives. Here's the lecture. Here are your questions for comprehension, your 5 questions. I'll get back to that. Here's the lab. Now you see a series of documents for lab. You do not need to print these out. I have copies of these. This is just like if you lose this, and it looks like I made a mistake on that. I'll have to fix that. So you can see it's not set up as a link because you actually will do this during lecture. Now, for some reason, if it snows next week and we miss lecture, I'm sorry, we miss lab, we don't come to campus, I'll set it up as a link again, but it's not set up as a link. But what this week has, and what most of the weeks also have, are learning activities. And learning activities in a normal semester like we would do these as like a group exercise during the lecture. And you know, it's just like a homework assignment. Now this one happens to be a film. There are lots of films to watch, and so what you would do for this, and this is a submission link, so here's the question sheet that you would download, and you followed the directions. Here's the link to the film. It's through NCC's website, so you do have to put in your NCC password. And then when you've completed watching the film, you click on the submission link. And once again, you know, you can attach it, you can click here and then copy and paste it, and then you would submit it. Whoops. So that is how the course is set up. Now, other things I did, which I can't do here in this, obviously in this format, is I also collected people's cell phone numbers if they were willing to give them to me, because there are times, or there may be times, when the weather is bad and school remains open, but I don't feel comfortable driving. And in those cases, I would email everybody, but I would also text everybody. Or if, you know, for some reason I can't come to class, I will text people that class has been canceled. So if you want to receive that information, then next week I can get that from you. Obviously, I can't do it now. So I think that is it. And hopefully we'll see you next week. Okay, guys, take care. Bye.